Alright, welcome back to the House of Danger. This is episode 4. Hi everybody, I'm Nick.
I'm Kirk.
Arn.
Shannon.
Sonia.
I did learn to read in public school, so I'll see how well this goes.
Okay, public school in Nebraska or Council Bluffs?
Council Bluffs,
Oh,
baby.
shit.
Oh my.
Oh, shit.
Alright, so everybody take...
So what is the chemical composition of methamphetamines?
Okay, so everybody take 2 minutes, look at the card again,
Just
discuss
kidding.
what you see.
Just kidding, Iowa. We love you.
I'm not kidding.
I know you're not.
You just have to study the picture. Can you see it?
Yeah, it goes on with the rest of the
It's
story.
like a clue.
The more I look, the more I see. Okay.
You good?
I'm good.
Alright, not quite 2
Alright.
minutes, but...
All right.
Alright, so we're not very high on the psychic scale, thanks.
Kirk.
Yeah,
My bad, guys. My bad.
put our danger meters down to 2.
You really drove us into the ground there.
Yeah. I blame you.
Alright, so we got
Here we go.
All right.
The Hideout, Chapter 4. After encountering dangers outside the house, facing multiple ghosts inside the house, discovering an underground laboratory, and stumbling upon angry chimpanzees, you're ready to get some answers about this place, and the nightmares that brought you here. The mysterious phone call I got this morning, you say. It was you, wasn't it? Phone call? What phone call? Wait, it couldn't have found a way to access the phone lines, could it? Professor Martin's eyes go wide. Then he sees the look on your face and shakes his head. Well, that's not important right now, he says. Something about his tone leads you to suspect it is important, but you don't push it. If you've managed to get this far, you must be quite the aspiring detective. And psychic investigator, you add. You go on to tell him about the recurring nightmares that drove you to delve into this whole bizarre mystery. Nightmares, he asks? Fascinating. If your dreams mean what I think they do, then I'm glad you're here. I can explain more later, but right now, getting to the neuron inhibitor mainframe is the crucial thing. It's the only way to retake the lab from my dastardly former lab assistant, Carol. He says the name in a hoarse whisper, as if speaking it aloud could summon some ancient evil.
Carol.
Together, we discovered a source of technology far beyond anything this world has ever seen, but she betrayed me. She used our work to take control of the chimpanzees and start a counterfeiting ring with a local crime syndicate. We made scientific discoveries worthy of Einstein, of Galileo, and then she uses it all to... He trails off.
Make
I'm
money
s-
with monkeys.
I'm sorry. I've been locked in here so long that I've forgotten my manners. Now that you've freed me, I can open a secret passage for you that will lead to the neuron inhibitor mainframe. It will take you through the area where our most experimental work was being conducted. Be careful. It can get dangerous in there. It's just me who's going? You ask, with a fear in your voice. Yes, he says. I'll need to monitor your progress from the operations room, where I have access to the security system. Here, use this earpiece so we can communicate. Draw clue 91 to discover your goal. Chapter 4 goal: disable the neuron inhibitor mainframe. The clear glass door leads to the temporal manipulation lab, the professor continues. The frosted glass door goes to the psychic development room. The professor takes off for the operations room as the secret passage opens from the empty jail cell next door. The 2 glass doors are now before you. Too bad the professor didn't explain which route was the best way to get to the neuron inhibitor mainframe. If you try to the temporal manipulation lab, go to story card 96. If you try the psychic development room, go to 115.
I think we'll go with the psychic development room.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Alright. This room features several rows of blue metal chairs. Dome-shaped helmets attached to odd-looking devices hang above the chairs. There's also a large glass tube, big enough for you to step into, with a door on the side. A green button is accessible from inside the tube. You slowly realize you've seen these machines before, in photos, in the reference book Ghosts and Ghouls, which you have on your bookshelf at home. The photos were in a chapter about how rogue parapsychologists were attempting to give ordinary people psychic abilities. If you remember correctly, the blue chairs are attached to machines intended to give the subject pyrokinesis, the ability to start fires with mind control. The large glass tube is an energizing chamber that gives people telekinesis, the ability to move objects with one's mind. Both seem ready to go. A metal stairwell on the far side of the room leads to some sort of observation booth which overlooks the room you're in and possibly others. If you sit in one of the pyrokinesis chairs, go to 117. If you enter the telekinesis energizing chamber, go to 106. If you skip this weird equipment and climb the stairs to the observation booth, go to 99.
I'm going to say pyrokinesis chair.
Pyrokinesis
exactly what I was gonna say.
Alright. Find 106.
Yes.
You know, because every time I pick something, we all die.
That's what it seemed like when I was reading.
Okay, go back to card 44.
Arn gets felt up by a Civil War general.
It says, I'm on the wrong card.
See, it's just not me.
Alright. You enter the energizing chamber and shut the door. You press the green button on the interior wall and the room goes dark, while the large glass tube emits a blinding white light, forcing you to cover your eyes with your hands. You can feel the machine rewiring your neural pathways to activate mysterious, previously untapped portions of your brain. The pain is horrible. Part of you thinks that if you can just endure the pain a little longer, unlimited mental powers might be unlocked. Another part of you is concerned that your head might literally explode.
Like that scene in Scanners.
Are you level 4 or higher on the psychic scale?
No!
Not anymore.
We'll ignore
Thanks,
that.
Kirk.
Do you stay in the energizing chamber? Or do you get out?
This feels freaking great. Let's stay here, guys.
We're going to stay, right?
Stay.
Okay, draw clue 98.
I will draw clue 98.
You now have the power to move things with your mind. You think about this as you run for the observation booth. Once per challenge, you can raise the danger meter by 2 to re-roll a die roll. Keep this item. Move forward 1 space on the psychic scale. Go to story card 99.
Story card, guys.
Hey, I did good before I messed up. 99. Okay. The observation booth has thick windows that look down into a circular chamber where you see a human-sized chimp in a hospital gown sitting at a table.
This never goes good, guys.
The poor animal's head is shaved and hugely swollen. Electrodes are attached to pulsing veins.
Boom, boom.
I'm so immature.
Veins on his head?
Yeah.
He's shaven. He's
Shaven
swollen.
head, and
And
he's
he's
swollen,
throbbing.
and he's throbbing. Come on now.
The chimp is gazing intently at a small wooden boat, which is floating in mid-air above the table. The chimpanzee sees you, and the moment his eyes meet yours, you start to black out. You break eye contact just before losing consciousness and decide you'd better exit this room quickly. Next to a fire extinguisher on the wall is a map, which gives you a quick overview of this area. You orient yourself and see that the observation booth is next to the cryogenics lab and the supercomputer room. Do you go to the cryogenics lab or the supercomputer room?
Depends on how quickly we want to get this over with.
This is like a tongue twister.
Should we go to the cryogenics lab?
I don't know. I think Nick wants to go to the
Chiropractic.
I want to go to the chiropractic lab. So I can have my back misaligned by
I think we need to make this last
my
longer
muscular
than 15 minutes.
chimpanzees.
What was the other option? Computer lab?
Computer lab,
Supercomputer lab.
because that's where
Room.
the mainframe probably is that we need to destroy. So let's go to the cryogenics lab.
Okay.
Because that always works out well.
Cryogenics? Yes.
Yes.
All
I
right.
don't know where that rubber band went.
Freeze my body so I can come back in 50 years.
This room has cryogenic storage chambers built into the walls. All kinds of lab subjects are frozen inside. Mice, rats, dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters, guinea pigs, fish, and birds. There are also 3 large glass pods in the center of the room, each big enough for a person to get inside. One of them might be occupied. The glass is frosted, so you can't be sure. As you inspect that pod, you accidentally hit a button, and the pod unlocks with a rush of cold air. However, its door remains frozen shut. You can attempt to pry it open if you want to.
Don't touch it with your hands.
Pry it open with a knife.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Optional challenge. Open the cryogenic
Telekinesis
pod.
it open.
We're gonna do the challenge.
Fuck yeah, we're gonna do the challenge.
Yeah.
Not optional.
What
Don't
kind of
touch it.
challenge is it? Sometimes they have little symbols like arms and...
Arms. It's a
Shit.
muscle challenge.
We got that one.
No.
No, we do not.
Alright, I'm gonna go for it.
All right.
We're on a 3+ or a 4+. Well, we got it either way. I rolled a 4.
That's a win.
Draw clue 90.
Don't put it
Clue
out.
90 is a crystal pendant. Pendant.
A pennant? Wow, nobody can talk to
Do
me.
we want to read all that?
Oh yeah.
Read it with your council bluffs education.
You pry open the pod and find there's no animal, only a crystal pendant. It's glowing and it's warm to the touch. Your psychic senses tell you that this is an important item. Keep this item. Move forward 1 space on the psychic scale. Finish my story card. When you're ready to leave, there's an open, debris-filled hallway at one end of the room. At the other end is a stairway leading up to an unseen location. Which way do you want to go? Over the debris into the hall or up the stairs?
I think we want to go up the stairs.
Yeah, that's fine.
Up the stairs?
Up the stairs.
All right, let's go up the stairs.
Okay. You go up a long flight of stairs that leads to an observatory
How
where you
long?
find Professor Marsden staring at the stars. How did you get here first, you ask? It's all my fault, he murmurs sadly, lost in
Uh-oh.
thought. We've reached out to the stars and they reached back, but when the creature made contact, we got greedy and captured him for further study.
Uh-oh.
I fear your nightmares mean he's sending out telepathic messages in hope of being rescued. If you want them to end, you must set the creature free. This is why, the professor continues, we need to take back the compound from Carol, disable the neuron inhibitor mainframe
man.
controlling the chimpanzees, and free the alien ambassador.
Been watching too much wrestling. I thought he was going to turn on us.
Carol watches over the mainframe constantly, he continues, so you'll be heading into great danger. Make sure you're fully prepared before you move on. There's a hallway to the mess hall and a back door that leads outside the house. Story return. If you'd like to go back for anything you missed, make a choice below. The temporal manipulation lab. If you want to go to the psychic development room. If you want to go
We
to
want
the...
to go to the psychic development room.
Okay.
Sold.
Then raise the danger meter by 3.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, great. I ain't
We're
rolling.
cool.
Just
I
a
ain't
4.
rolling.
We're
I ain't,
cool.
I ain't rolling.
You have to get a 4, 5, or 6. It's fine. It's fine.
Am I rolling?
I think
No.
we need that
No,
psych-
not yet. Not yet.
You just
So-
went up.
I think we need that
Wouldn't be so
pyrokinesis. And now we got, hopefully... Hey, shouldn't we be at 5? We went up to 4, and then
We
went
were
up
at 3.
one more?
We were at 3. Oh.
No,
1,
psychic.
2, 3.
Psychic
The
scale
psychic
should be
scale?
up to 5.
Okay.
Who put you in charge?
I don't know.
Put me in charge.
Nobody else wanted it.
There it is. Wait, that's what we did.
Yep.
That's the telekinesis one. Are you
We're doing it
fucking
again.
with
We're getting
me?
twice the power.
No, I wanted to go get the fire one.
I think that
Did I
is...
make a mistake?
Oh, can you do that?
I don't know.
I don't
Do
think
what?
so. Can we go back and get more power?
Well, you guys went into the telekinesis one. So there's a pyrokinesis chair. Can we just go back and do that?
Did we do the pyrokinesis chair?
No,
We tried and we failed.
Oh, let's try it again.
All right, let's try it again.
As soon as you sit down on the cold metal seat, a dome helmet drops onto your head, begins rewiring your neural
Shit.
pathways to activate mysterious, previously untapped portions of your brain. It's fun! And more importantly, it gives you the ability to create fire with a simple thought. Creating fire is easy, but actually controlling it is a different story. In fact, once you've realized you've lit your shirt ablaze, all your panicked attempts to diminish the flames with your mind only create more of them. You burn yourself up in mere seconds.
Way to go, Arn.
Something about fire, something about fire, something about fire.
It's hot!
Fire extinguisher. Do we have a fire extinguisher?
Where's the fire extinguisher? No, I think
we
I
use
think
that.
it's
We have a
the
water
it crowd.
bottle.
Don't worry, I emailed about it.
No, I think you're done. You died. You're dead.
Son of a bitch.
Way to go, Arn.
Move back 2 spaces on the psychic scale and return to story card 115.
I think basically we're back to where we were at the beginning, except the
Uh-huh.
danger meter's up.
Yep.
All right. Somebody else gets to make the next decision.
Okay, the temporal manipulation lab, the armory, or the observation booth, which I thought we went to, but... Or if you want to go to the mess hall, we could go forward.
Armory?
Armory.
Armory, 94.
Armory.
It's not gonna end well.
It just doesn't sound like a good idea.
We gotta go fight these things.
Well, we already fried ourselves, so why not shoot ourselves too?
Sure, why not?
We could go to the observatory.
See, we could set ourselves on fire and then we can shoot ourselves to put us out of our misery.
Psychic jerky. Alright. You enter the armory. The door closes behind you, and then you hear it lock automatically. The room is nearly empty, and you realize with a shudder that whatever weapons are usually kept here are probably in the hands of the people or chimps roaming the halls outside. The only thing left is a massive artillery gun mounted on a swivel in the center of the room. There are also a bunch of lockers lining one wall, if you'd like to search through them. Optional challenge! Search the lockers. If you are a level 3 or higher on the psychic scale, add a 1 to your roll.
No, we're level 1.
We are level 1.
Psychic. No, or level.
6. Level 3.
Oh, that thing.
Right.
Oh,
The
level
lockers-
4,
the
not
lockers
part
are in
4.
the-
Wow, you really
Jesus.
fucked us over last time,
Okay, yeah.
Captain Kirk.
Me!
Well, look what I just rolled.
Uh-oh.
We can roll again if we need to.
That happened like 3 weeks ago, so we're done with that.
Yeah, we're not re-rolling it.
Raise danger meter by 2.
Oh,
We're not
shit.
trying again?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Nice job with those new dice hitting that 1.
Yay, new dice! Yay, new dice!
They're pretty. Mine are the same.
At least they're pretty.
You know what?
There's a door here, and you can see through its window that it leads to a stairwell. Unfortunately, this door is locked. The artillery gun you found has a shell in it, though. So you could probably blast your way through. As a matter of fact, why limit yourself? With that thing, you could probably get through the wall opposite the door. Instant shortcut. If you blow a hole through the door, we'll go that way. If you blow a hole through the wall, we'll go the other way.
Just blow a hole through the wall.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sounds more destructive.
Blow shit up! Blow shit up!
Blowhole. Blowhole.
Blowhole!
You carefully navigate stray chunks of masonry and find yourself in a laboratory. Dee Dee, get out of my laboratory!
Freddy does not like you!
There's a closet-sized metal box here, big enough for you to get into, connected to a computer terminal. Some notes you find scattered on a desktop contain terms like DNA decoding unit and cellular replicator. You know what this thing is for. Clones. It makes clones. You're sure of it? Well, 90% sure.
Clones or clowns?
Clones.
Maybe clones of clowns.
There's a flashing red light on the terminal that might mean something's not working properly, But the computer is so old it uses punch cards. You just know that trying to figure out what's wrong with this computer would be a huge pain. There's a time clock on the wall above a column of time cards with a handwritten index card that says Observatory Employees. Next to it is a stairway leading upwards. Free action! If you are at level 4 or higher on the psychic scale, so we can't do that. Would you like to try and clone yourself, or take the stairs to the observatory?
There should be more of me around. I think that would be awesome.
I think we should try, but it's probably not the right thing to do.
I don't think we should.
I don't think we should.
Oh, come on, guys.
Boring.
Boring crowd.
Right.
We're gonna end up like some mutant banana or something.
Mutant banana.
Chlorophyll. More like chlorophyll.
Well, 108 takes you back to where Professor Marsden is. So, I think... Did we do the observation booth?
Nope.
We have not.
Would you like to?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Sure, because the card's not in the main pile.
Uh-oh. Maybe we did do it. Is that where we talk to the doctor? He tells us we must set the throbbing head free.
That's the psychic chimpanzee on 99, so I think we're done with going back. I'll put these back in order.
Wasn't there another way from the chimpanzee? Wasn't there like...
Oh!
We haven't gone to the mess hall yet.
That's like the end game, I think, isn't it?
Cryogenics or supercomputer room?
Yeah,
Supercomputer room.
Boom.
Weren't we just there? Everything's run off of a card?
No.
Oh.
No, we went
That's
to the
the
cryogenics.
cloning room.
Oh,
That's the cloning room where you guys didn't want to clone me. I'm awesome. I don't know why you didn't want to clone me.
One of you is enough.
Oh, whatever.
You guys are gonna love this.
I'm going to start turning the cards here. in a minute.
We're not having multiplicity going on here.
You ready? I've practiced for this for a long time with my daughter.
Okay.
As soon as you enter the room,
I slap him.
the computer lights up. Present your credentials. A digital voice demands. It
Beep
must
boop,
be the
beep boop.
computer.
Beep boop, beep boop.
You mutter something about being the new lab assistant. I judge that to be false. You have come here seeking answers. My memory banks contain all the information you desire, but access is forbidden. You don't see a keyboard, so apparently voice commands are the only way to interact with this thing. Unless, of course, you can best me in a competition of my choosing, the computer continues.
This always ends well. Shall we play a game?
Be wary, human. No flesh creature has ever defeated me and my limitless mind. If you agree to compete with the supercomputer, draw clue 97.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna grab the clue.
Let's play.
A compartment opens in the computer's casing and a robotic arm extends from inside it. The supercomputer wants to arm wrestle you. Required challenge.
All right, Sonya.
And we have
Get
no
ready to
strength
arm
stuff,
wrestle.
right?
It's a strength challenge. So do you have to do this until you beat it? If it's
Am I rolling?
required? Oh,
No.
okay. So you have to do it once?
Yep.
Am I rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know. It says raise the danger meter by 1 and try again. I think we have to keep going.
Somebody else want
Gotta get a
to
5 or
Oh
6.
no, that's on you. See if you can beat Kirk's record.
Hey,
got
it!
Oh!
Draw clue 102.
3 rolls less than I did it.
You defeat the supercomputer and gain access to its files. One is a diagram of a rod-shaped device called a quantum synthesis stabilizer. Do you have clue 39?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Keep this item and move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale.
Woo! It's the one that looks like the dildos.
fail?
Well, this would have been helpful. There are 2 doors leading out of the supercomputer room. You start to open one door and the computer shouts, "Do not attempt to enter the armory." You start to open the other door and the computer shouts, "Do not attempt to enter the observatory." This computer may be pushy, but it's also quite informative. I think we gotta go to the observatory because we've done everything else, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're a podcast,
So
guys.
quiet.
We're a podcast, guys.
Everybody's just shaking their head.
It is
Can you hear my head
very,
shaking?
very cold, and we're all very, very tired.
It is very cold here today, yes.
Very, very. So, do we want to go to the mess hall or leave the house through the back door?
Let's go to the mess hall.
Let's just go home.
Fuck your alien, we're leaving.
Yeah, take the back door. No, just kidding. Yes, I don't know. Where do you want to go?
Mess hall.
Let's go to the mess hall.
Mess hall. I think that's the only room we haven't been in yet. You died. You choke on a Sam sandwich.
The mess
A
hall
Sam
is filled with
sandwich?
long...
A Sam sandwich.
Well, you're gonna choke on something.
Oh, shit.
The mess hall is filled with long metal tables and ugly plastic chairs. Judging by the sheer volume of rotting banana peels piled into overflowing trash cans, you'd guess that it's mostly used by chimpanzees. Chimpanzees who don't compost, but tiss. The room has high ceilings, and you can see an area on the next level with a railed balcony that overlooks the room. There might be something interesting up there, but you'll have to climb to find out. There's also a door that leads to the pantry, in which you see a cupboard. Optional challenge! Climb to the overlook.
What kind of skill is it?
Climbing.
Oh, hey, we got
We
climbing.
got
shit.
climbing, don't we?
What?
What? I thought we did. No. Not the tracksuit?
It's a purple guy supplely caressing a rock. Instant win! Are we gonna skip climbing?
No. Yeah. I don't know, Nick. It's your roll.
I ain't
Yeah.
rolling it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What's the worst that can happen?
Right. We'll fall.
We'll fall, yep.
Haha, we made
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We
we
Lower
made it.
danger meter by 3.
Nice.
Go to
Yeah,
story
nice,
card
Nick.
111. From here, you can see into a meeting room, which is packed to the gills with super chimps. A woman in a lab coat, it must be the diabolical Carol, is operating is operating a large console that must be part of the neuron inhibitor mainframe. It looks pretty solid, but if you're lucky, you might be able to reach it and damage it enough to free the chimps from Carol's control before anything can stop you. There's also a metal staircase leading down to an aircraft hangar. You see a truck parked in it, but you can't be sure if anyone is guarding it. Do you guys see Carol?
Bride of Frankenstein!
If you rush into the meeting room, go to that card. If you sneak into the aircraft hangar,
We gotta disable the neural whatever inhibitor mainframe. Is it on board the plane?
How do we know that's what she's using?
That's true.
it looks like she's using it, so you can't be sure.
Sonya, what do you think?
What do you think, Sonya? Huh?
I say we go to the airplane.
Sure.
We agree, so we do it.
We go to the airplane.
You sneak into the hangar and discover to your great relief that it's unoccupied. There are parts here from what might be some kind of alien aircraft, and tools lie scattered around them on the floor. From here, you can see a large egg-shaped object on the lawn outside the hangar. Optional challenge! Scan the tools for something useful. If you are a level 4 or higher on the psychic scale, add 1 to your roll. In addition to any eyeball.
We got binoculars.
Boosters.
I think those help.
Binocs.
Yep.
All right.
It's a +2.
Yeah. This is your turn, I think.
All right.
Do it! You can do
Don't
it!
fuck us over this time.
Almost.
God damn it.
Well, he got
Plus
2.
two, so
so
it's plus
Oh.
5.
Good job! Good job! I think good job! I knew you could do it!
Freaking
Draw
out
clue
over nothing.
89.
Didn't we already draw clue 89? Nope, we didn't.
No, we did not.
It was out of order.
You find a small gun that fires tear gas. Neato! Keep this item.
Nice.
Hey, it's got a fist.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fisting somebody.
You can fist him with tear gas. An unmarked delivery truck is parked here. If only the keys were inside.
Maybe we have the keys.
Well,
we have that skeleton key.
It says if you have clue 3, discard it and go to story card 100.
We don't have clue 3.
If you don't have it, take a look at the egg ship by going to story card 114. Right. You sneak over to the big round object. This thing is a spaceship. It has a cold ceramic skin and it's perfectly smooth. You can't find a single bolt or seam.
Frictionless?
Yep. From here, you can see a window to the main house, where a whole bunch of chimpanzees are gathered around a boardroom table, with a woman at the front of the room at a computer console. It's Carol.
Carol.
First things first, you climb aboard the egg. I was fine till... First things first, you climb aboard the egg craft, look at the instruments, and get the psychic sensation that you already possess the knowledge to operate the vehicle. There's a mental lock protecting the control panel, though. God. If you could bust it,
I know Kung Fu.
you might be able to get this thing moving.
Let's bust it.
Optional challenge. Break the lock. Do you have a muscle thing?
We have a fist.
Yep. Nope, it's not a fist. It's a
Nope.
bicep.
It's a bicep.
We don't need it.
We don't need no stinking fist.
I rolled a
Oh,
1.
way to go,
Oh,
Arn.
man.
Raise danger meter by 3.
Oh,
may try again.
Oh.
No, let's try again. Let's do that thing. Raise the danger meter by... Oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
If you can't get the egg ship moving or don't even want to try, you can always move on. Head straight into the room full of chimps by going to 103.
Tear gas them.
Tear gas the motherfuckers.
Family friendly. Jeez.
Jeez. Sorry.
Oh, crap. We're dead.
Mother truckers. We are dead again.
The dramatic conclusion to all this monkey business is so close you can practically reach out and touch it. One way or the other, you decide. This ends now. You burst into the room. At least 36 giant chips stand between you and the neuron inhibitor mainframe.
Seriously, can we use the tear gas?
Also, you totally hit your funny bone on the way in, so that's going on too. This, you realize, was a terrible idea. Kill the intruder! The woman yells.
Duh.
With her neuron inhibitor link still fully operational, the chimps have no choice but to obey, which they do.
Tear gas.
Move back 2 spaces on the psychic scale and return to the previous card.
Oh, jeez.
But
Don't let me pick. Don't let me pick ever.
the previous card is the egg ship.
Yeah, we gotta try that egg ships.
We have to get to the egg ship.
Who's rolling for the egg
You
ship?
have to roll 5 or a 6. Is that
Yeah.
That's what's going on, yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
hey! Draw clue 101.
Clue 101.
10101.
Through brute force, you manage to break the lock, but you damage the ship's controls in the process. You're tossed from the cockpit as the vehicle lurches a few inches into the air and rockets across the lawn, straight towards the room full of chimpanzees. Go to 107.
So we win, but we don't win.
There's a large sliding glass door that opens into the meeting room, but the egg-shaped ship misses it entirely and crashes straight through the wall. A space cannon emerges from a hatch in the ship's hull and starts firing laser beams at random into the room. The chimps go bananas. It's total chaos.
Bananas.
You couldn't have created a better distraction if you'd planned it. You jump out of the ship. You move quickly and stealthily and somehow manage to avoid the rampaging chimps and the uncontrolled laser fire. Maybe you can disable the neuron inhibitor mainframe before anyone stops you. Required challenge. Do you have a runny shoe?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Sonja. +2.
+2.
Alright, it's my roll?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Nervous.
Yay!
Yeah, we got it! We got it! Yeah!
Go to story card 113. The computer doesn't have a button that's clearly labeled off, so you hit the neuron inhibitor mainframe console as hard as you can with a chair, and sparks fly from it. Every chimpanzee in the room instantly passes out and falls to the floor. The egg ship has apparently run out of laser juice too, because the cannon sputters and lowers back into its hatch. Carol, however, is still a problem.
Carol.
My computer, she screams. My chimpanzees! My meeting room wall! Who even are you? That's how it's written.
She went from Russian to
Valley Girl.
Valley Girl.
I can't read who even are you without adding that. That's terrible. She flies at you in a rage. She definitely wants to kill you, and she seems to be giving it everything she's got. Required challenge. Knock out the dastardly Carol.
Shoot her in the face with a tear gas gun.
Yeah, Carol.
Oh, it's a
Hey,
punch, a fist.
And we've got that
So we got
knife on
plus
the other
two.
hand. And we can stab her.
We want to use the tear gas gun because it's got a +2.
Yes!
Yes!
We made it!
Yes!
Go to story card 105.
Threes.
Huh?
What is it with everybody rolling threes?
Average.
Yeah.
Why did I say 105?
See,
card
it's
one,
not.
yeah.
It's just not me. All right.
So many
Picking on
numbers.
me all night.
And reading and talking.
I'm still bruised.
Chapter 4, goal achieved. Dun, 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 dun.
Woohoo!
You've thwarted Carol's evil plot, freed a whole mansion full of super intelligent chimpanzees, and broken up a counterfeiting ring. On top of that, you've helped Professor Marsden win back control of his lab. Now he'll have plenty of time to reconsider the implications of his blind pursuit of knowledge and devote the rest of his career to making things right again. All that's left now is to bask in your supreme triumph. You sit in Carol's chair, lean back, and put your feet up on what remains of the meeting room table, confident that your job here is done. Or is it?
Dun dun dun.
An alarm sounds, and about 50 lights on the neuron inhibitor mainframe console start blinking. Professor Marsden comes running into the room. Oh no, he mutters under his breath. That thing's probably just malfunctioning, you say. I really did a number on it. You both jolt back as a strange, booming voice comes from a speaker on the neuron inhibitor mainframe console. The full force of the Chrysalic Armada is upon you, it says. We demand the release of our ambassador. Although we hate violence, we will reduce your entire planet to galactic rubble if you do not obey us. The significance of this moment hits you. You've just heard the words of an actual alien life form.
Oh my god, they're
Professor
real,
is
guys!
as pale as a ghost. Let's release the alien, you say.
Yes,
That's what we were planning to do anyway, right?
let's release it.
About that, he says,
Oh shit.
it may not be quite so simple.
Oh. Tune in next time.
What could happen next time?
Next time.
I don't know. What
We
could
die.
happen?
Will we save little Jimmy Willikers?
Will I ever get these cards back in the right order?
Tune in to find
I
out.
think the alien should be Splooge Julius.
I couldn't master that. I had to go with Coneheads, kind of.
Splooge. I know a splooge.
And guess what? You don't even have to wait, so it's coming up next. Because we're releasing this all in one day.
Woohoo!
That's because we love you.
And we're gonna release them all together.
Yeah. Alright,
Yeah.
guys, it's been fun.
Yeah, boy.
Bye.
Adios.
See you guys.
Bye.